Hello, everyone, and welcome to Kutrik's second annual Zero Emission Bus Technology and Transit Operation Conference. Before we begin, I'd like to share that we have closed captions available in both French and English, and you can enable this tool directly below the video stream. My name is Zara, and I am the JS technician, a part of the ZEP consulting team at Kutrik, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to our sponsor keynote today with Roger Delander from Damera. I am joining you today from Brampton, Ontario, and in the spirit of respect and reciprocity and truth, we honor and acknowledge the lands which constitute the present-day city of Brampton as being part of the treaty and traditional territories of the Mississauga of the Credits First Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, the Huron-Wendat, and the Wendat Nations. We recognize these people and their ancestors as people who inhabited these lands since time immemorial. I'd first like to start by thanking our sponsor, Damera, for their generous support of our conference. And Rogers is a Chief Operating Officer of the Mississauga Bus Group of companies. Rogers is responsible for driving growth in private and public sector with a focus on electric and hydrogen fuel vehicles and services. That being said, I am now going to turn to Roger Delander from Damera, who will be taking us through a presentation. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roger Delander, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the Damera Bus Company, which is part of the Mississauga Bus Group of companies. Today, our talk is going to be about future-proofing your electric bus acquisition and taking steps in the autonomous mobility world with your transit vehicles. Just a bit of background on the company. Damera is part of the Mississauga Bus Group of companies, as I said. Mississauga Bus Group of companies, as most of you probably are aware of and familiar with, they've been doing business in this area for 22 years, servicing municipal transit authorities from coast to coast, and are currently in a large expansion phase, bringing in new products into Canada, manufacturing those products in Canada, and training our whole staff to be in the electric and autonomous world. So how do we get there? Whether we like it or not, the future is green, and there's a lot of incentives and plans to be put in place to get us into the electric and autonomous bus world. As service and product providers, as well as users yourselves, there's a lot of things to consider. There's a lot of new technologies, there's a lot of new vehicles to be used, but what it really gives us is the opportunity to look at new route possibilities using these technologies in vehicles. Many of the vehicles that we're now starting to sell and starting to work with our customers on are smaller, they're more agile, they can do more things. For example, on-demand services in suburban environments, and eventually they're going to be working in an autonomous mode, doing on-call, on-demand pickups from various locations, especially in the suburban environment. One of the other things that we're doing is we're working on retrofitting. We have a couple of projects underway now where we're retrofitting diesel, early to midlife diesel vehicles into electric, 100% electric and or hydrogen fuel cell. This obviously is something that's a transitional phase where we're working with some customers to change some 5-7-year-old buses over into electric and hydrogens for the remaining part of their life. In terms of electric and autonomous vehicles, there's obviously lots of financial incentives from all levels of government to get into this and to start the transition into electric and autonomous vehicles. However, there's quite a lot of complexity in terms of understanding, what to specify, how to specify it, what to look for in terms of specifications and performance parameters. However, that's a unfolding environment, if you like, where we're seeing some more advancements in terms of standardization of technologies, standardization of how we measure and specify these buses for use. Obviously, staffing and knowledge is a very important aspect. It's a big transformation for you and for us, going from a diesel world into an electric and hydrogen fuel cell world. So we're spending a lot of money and effort in staffing and knowledge, performance increase, or not performance, but knowledge gaining and training. And one of our big things that we look at is focusing on what we call born electric and born autonomous vehicles, and that are vehicles that are designed from the ground up to be electric, and designed from the ground up to be autonomous. So we're not taking and working with manufacturers that are taking existing diesel frames and chassis and vehicles and taking the diesel components out and putting the electric motors in. We're actually working with companies that are designing electric vehicles from the ground up. This is a very important aspect because obviously the performance of these vehicles, the life cycle of the vehicles is going to be much longer, and your investment today in the electric vehicles will be well secured for 12 to 15 years into the future. So how far in the future do we look? It's a good question. It's something that we all have to do, obviously, because there's a lot of money being thrown around here, and it's something that we need to really make sure, as we're looking in the future, that we're taking that into consideration when we're buying today. So part of our discussion that will be following this is going to be talking about how and what things you should be taking into consideration as you make decisions today and as you start looking into the future. So what we're going to do is introduce you to two of Damera's partners who are providing and who are manufacturers, experts in manufacturing of electric buses and also autonomous bus technology. So they'll be talking about what their electric buses do, why they've designed them, where they're operating, how they're operating, but also in the autonomous world, and this is very important for us, is that in the autonomous world, they're actually live use of autonomous bus vehicles working today in environments like we are in Canada, primarily in Michigan, for example, or in Norway. So two of our partners, Dennis and Dr. Ali, will be giving presentations and having a discussion about what they do and how they do their various aspects of working with electric and autonomous buses. So with that, I'm going to introduce Dennis and Dr. Ali.
Hello, dear guests. Today, I'm here with Dr. Ali. Dr. Ali is the CEO of Adastec, and Adastec is Karsan's business partner for autonomous technology. I am Dennis Chetin. I'm the Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer of Karsan. Today, we will try to explain you in a nutshell who Karsan is, what we do, and how we are progressing with our autonomous and battery electric vehicles. So we will discuss a little bit about Karsan transformation today. We call this transformation as electric evolution. Karsan has a full range of electric transit buses from 6 meter all the way up to 18 meters. Karsan's smallest member of the family is E-Jest, as you can see now. This bus is 6 meters, and we have made more than 2 million kilometer experience. Actually, this presentation was done last year, so this year we have a little over 3 million consolidated kilometer range mileage with our buses running throughout the Europe. We have more than 300 buses so far running in Europe. Our aim is to convert all of our buses finally to autonomous. Having electric bus range is just a stepping stone for Karsan. Our ultimate goal is to have autonomous full range. And our attack is, as you can see now, that's the autonomous bus. Maybe Dr. Ali may provide some information here.
Yeah. This is the first bus which is factory fitted. As you see in the video, we are able to cope with mixed traffic conditions. We can handle traffic lights, pedestrian crossings. In the bus, we have several sensors, including lidars, cameras, thermal cameras, ultrasonic sensors, and radars. which enables us to cope with very complex real-world situations. Currently, we have 5 deployments, one in North America, and then France, Romania, Turkey, and Norway. We are the first full-size bus provider who is able to operate in public roads, both in North America and Europe.
Okay, so we will provide more details about the electric buses. Now I'll just skip this slide. So what makes Karsan different from all other competitors is that Karsan is able to provide a full range of buses. I think this is one of the Karsan's strongest muscles, as you can see. And we have deployed our 10, 12, and 18 meters just last year. So I can say we have the freshest member of our product range is ready now.
The future is here.
We have a small.
It's not far. It's close enough to touch. Unique enough to reflect yourself. The future is at hand, in the blink of an eye. Rebellious enough to push limits. Pure enough to rejuvenate yourself with every breath. The future is smart enough to know what you crave. Mighty enough to lead technology. The future is not far. The future is the experience inspired by countless kilometers of our electric vehicles, designed specifically for your needs. For the past 50 years, the future has been evolving into perfection.
Well, this was a short video clip of our range. And again, we have one of the main discussion point of today will be autonomous buses. So we will provide more detailed information about that. We have again the smallest bus right now actually ready in Canada. Actually, Damera has some of e-Jests. I'll just provide a quick information about this bus, and this bus has the powertrain of BMW. We use BMW electric motor battery packs and onboard charger. This bus has more than 50% market share in Europe. We are selling those buses more than 30 countries throughout Europe. There are some information about the bus. I won't go into details. I'm sure Damera can provide more detailed specification information later. And also more information later today. This bus also has BMW inside. It's electrified by BMW. It has BMW battery packs. And again, we have many units running in throughout Europe and few, just one in actually in the United States. Again, this is to show you where we have been with those buses within the last 2.5 years. Actually, we have sold more than 300 buses, and this year we have in 3 months of this year into 2022 we have more than 300 orders so far. So in the last 3 months, actually, we have done more than last 3 years. This shows the change of the market, the velocity of the market. So this is simply just few information, small information about Karsan. But what I want to emphasize here is, before skipping to autonomous in details, Karsan buses are born electric. So, for example, our 10, 12, and 18 meter buses, they do not have an internal combustion version of them. So what that means is that, as I mentioned earlier of my speech, Karsan ultimate goal is to become a full autonomous range bus manufacturer. So in order to reach that target easy and clean, it's important to have a full-born electric vehicle from the scratch, because later down the road it will be easy. It will be easy upfit for autonomous technology, where Dr. Ali will provide more information. So, Dr. Ali, I think I can go to our, I believe, Michigan State University video clip, right?
Yes, yes. So we would like to show this video since everybody thinks that when you say about a campus, it's a more controlled area. But as you can see, it's an open traffic area with some uncontrolled left and right turns. And there are 7 different intersections, controlled intersections with traffic lights, and there are some uncontrolled intersections. And the good thing about the route is that we have a support from US DOT, and we are able to communicate with traffic lights. Even though there is no vehicle-to-vehicle or vehicle-to-infrastructure communication, we are still able to perceive the traffic lights. But of course, having this communication makes the ride much more comfortable, since you are able to get the signal phase and timing in advance, and then you can act accordingly. And also, this is the first full-size bus deployment in United States. You can check it from NHTSA's website, where NHTSA is providing an open website to show how all the trials all over United States is going. And we also received the permission to carry passengers, and we are starting the carrying passengers next Monday. The good thing about to be able to carry with passengers, which means that we will able to make some public demonstrations. So we are inviting you to visit Michigan so that we can show the autonomous bus in action. Another advantage of the Michigan is that all weather conditions. So, you know, most of the autonomous driving videos like this one is always in sunny weather. But of course, this winter we had a lot of adverse weather conditions, including some high winds, snow, fog, and also we have deployed one bus to Norway, which has also have very difficult conditions in winter, which gives us a very good chance to be able to create a real-world running vehicle in all weather conditions, in higher speeds and real-world scenarios. So this is a transit bus capacity of 50 people, and it can be used in real transit operations. There are small shuttles, which has already been tested a lot, but they are not born autonomous. They are not real homologous vehicles, and they are not crash-worthy. And also, basically, they are for micro logistics or micro transit. So they are competitors of walk-in or bicycles. Our bus is an enhancement of the existing transit routes. I don't know, should I add anything more, but back to you, Dennis.
Dr. Ali, that's an important topic. Thanks for stressing that out, because this is a real bus. Of course, there are a lot of autonomous technologies out there, but what is important that we together, Adastec and Karsan, we released this bus, and which is a serial production, by the way. It's not any kind of prototype or pre-manufacturing. It is the real serial manufacturing, and this is a real bus designed to carry its cargo, meant to be people. I mean, its cargo does not meant to be some sort of any other stuff, but this is a real bus, and I think that is very important. On top of that, I'd like to just ask one question, Dr. Ali, to you, to have more further clarification of, how our bus is dealing with obstructions of the road. I mean, since this is a real bus, autonomous and ready to be used on the public road, and there will be some obstructions. So how we are preventing bus to have some sort of accident, if that could be one of my questions.
Yeah, these questions are coming along a lot. But since people thinking that this technology is like in mimicking the human, so the basic problem with the human is that they're trying to understand what's going on and act accordingly, and it's very probabilistic. So what we did with this bus is that we don't leave a place for probabilistic things. So it's not operated fully by deep learning. It also has backup algorithms in deterministic things. So at the end of the day, this bus works in a pre-mapped area, which makes our life much more easier, so we can understand the static version of the world. So anything which is not included in the map is an obstacle. So basically, if you don't understand what it is, you need to slow down or stop. So as you see, we are coping with bicycle lanes, people going in other directions, and also in North America, people are able to turn right in the red light and also left in the green light. So there are a lot of complex scenarios, but our basic idea is that we are able to understand any 3D moving small or big object from us, so we can avoid them. In addition to that, we have thermal cameras, which can understand living things much better. So we can understand the differentiation between a living thing and non-living thing much more easily, so we can act more precautiously in that situation. So this is basically designed for this kind of transit routes, and we are testing in the public already in Europe and US.
Thanks so much. I think time is almost up for us. I will just summarize that we try to explain quickly who is Karsan and what we are doing together with Adastec. We try to explain you our full-born electric buses, and our target is to have our full range, finally, to all of them, to have autonomous driving. And one last comment, it may come from our friends from Canada, is that Canada has a severe winter situations. And I think both Michigan and Norway, where our autonomous bus has been working, I think those countries have a similar weather conditions, so we can easily say that our buses can cope with severe weather conditions as well. So I think that's all from me. Dr. Ali, if you have anything to add. If not, we will just go back to Damera and Roger.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you all. Hope to see you in Michigan to see the real thing.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thanks, Dennis and Dr. Ali. What we saw there was initially from Dennis and Karsan is a full line of electric buses, from small shuttle buses to larger articulated buses that are operating extensively throughout Europe and are coming soon to Canada. Damera Bus, in conjunction with Mississauga Bus Group of Companies, will be bringing those buses into Canada and doing final assembly of them in Canada. So we'll be able to customize to your requirements anything on those buses for the Canadian marketplace. Dr. Ali's examples of an autonomous bus working in Michigan, obviously very close to home, I think are great examples of how fast and how far the autonomous technology has actually come. And it's not that far around the corner for it to be implemented in many different environments, probably more controlled environments, obviously, to start, but certainly, for example, with the small shuttle bus and the smaller attack electric buses, we could see autonomous buses in operation in Canada in the next couple of years. So with that, thank you very much for attending and listening to our talk, and we look forward to working with all transit authorities across Canada, large and small, in this new world, new transformation of zero-emission bus technologies and service offerings, product offerings, and hope that we hear from you and can work with you on your requirements for both small and large electric buses with an eye on the autonomous world in the future. Thanks very much and have a great rest of the conference.
Thank you, Roger from Damera, as well as Denise and Dr. Ali from Carson and Adestech, respectively, for the insightful presentation. And again, for the sponsor from Damera, as well as our audience for joining us today. I'd like to thank you again for participating. We look forward to seeing you in the next session, which is a fireside chat on electrifying coach buses and the zero emission road to long distance transit. Thank you, everyone.